Teen Scene. I'm Amber Thomas.
And I'm Christian Minnerly.
And today our show is going to be all about the Great Blacks and Wax Museum. Christian, have you ever been to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum?
No, actually I haven't.
Well, you'll be truly inspired.
I'm looking forward to it.
So don't go away, we'll be right back. Back to the Teen Scene. Christian, we're actually going to go head over to Morgan State University to see the unveiling of Mahalia Jackson statue.
Isn't that the legendary jazz singer?
Yes, it actually is, and we're going to go head over there because the governor and the mayor are actually going to be there, so let's take a look.
We're going to begin with Governor Martin O'Malley, 35th Mayor of the City of Baltimore, 61st Governor of the State of Maryland, and a long time friend of this museum, Governor Martin O'Malley. Kwesi, thank you so very much. It is wonderful to be here with all of you on this gorgeous day that the Lord has made. I want to thank Kwesi Mfume for his kind introduction and for emceeing us today. I told on behalf of not only myself and my wife Katie and the people of Maryland, I also bring you greetings from our Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown. With the election 17 days away, he is losing shoe leather in a lot of targeted precincts. And I told Anthony, I said, I got this one. I got this one. It is wonderful to be with you, Dr. Joanne Martin. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the love that you have poured into this National Museum that has never lost its local connection. I remember very fondly when I was mayor and they would let you do these things, climbing into a big old bulldozer and knocking down some of those vacant properties behind the museum. And Dr. Martin, your leadership, the way you have persevered and continued to put one foot in front of the other and really taught so many kids from not only all over our city, but all over our state and all over the country is a tremendous gift that you have given to all of us. In Dr. Martin Luther King's very last book titled, Where Do We Go From Here? He wrote, quote, "From time immemorial, men have lived by the principle that self-preservation is the first law of life. But this is a false assumption. I would say that other preservation is the first law of life. It is the first law of life precisely because we cannot preserve self without being concerned about preserving other selves." In so many ways, this is what today's celebration is all about. Preserving the memory, the likeness, the legacy, the stories, of men and women who always put others first. From the late, great Dr. Harold Carter Sr. of the New Shiloh Baptist Church of Baltimore, who preached, taught, and wrote in the great faith tradition of Dr. King, to Reverend John R. Bryant, a Baltimore original and the indispensable leader of the AME Church, Bishop George E. Battle, who I'm told inspired half of the state of North Carolina to come here to be with us today, and of course the legendary Mahalia Jackson, who enthralled a nation with songs of freedom and songs of justice. These men and women that we celebrate today have made all of us better. They have made our country better. They have made our country better by always putting others first. And today we congratulate these honorees and their families and thank all of you for the faithful work that you do in always putting others first. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was really something.
It is. It was the governor of Maryland, and we hope you really enjoyed his speech. Some great people were there, including Congressman Elijah Cummings. Let's have a look.
We are also joined this morning by a distinguished member of the House of Representatives and clearly not a stranger to any of us. Elijah Cummings is former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, ranking member of the House Government Oversight Committee, a member of the Board of Regents here at Morgan State University, and a hard-working, true, and dedicated public servant, clearly one of the most distinguished members of the House of Representatives. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Elijah Cummings. Thank you very much, YC. And good evening to everyone. You know, to Dr. Martin, and of course your late husband, Dr. Elmer Martin, I want to thank you for creating the Great Blacks in Wax Museum. And I thank you because on my way here, I was thinking about the late night sometime when we were in Congress, and I take time out to walk around Statutory Hall to see the statues that have been sent from states all over the country. And I read the little captions, but I am so happy that we've got our own Statutory Hall right here in Baltimore. And I really mean that. You know, our honorees, I'm just so excited about it. They told me I only got 2 minutes, and I'm going to be real brief. Miss Mahalia Jackson, Reverend Dr. Harold Carter, the late Dr. Harold Carter, Bishop John Bryant, and Bishop George Battle. You know, the first thing I would say is I want to thank them. And I know Mahalia Jackson is no longer with us. But I want to thank them for allowing God to bless them so that they could bless others. To bless them so that they could bless others. And in the process of blessing others, there are so many people that they have touched. I can remember the little boys, my father, a former sharecropper, pulling me to Mount Moriah Baptist Church to hear Mahalia Jackson sing. Oh, what a day. John Bryant, Bishop John Bryant, to hear him preach and to watch him in action, a man just majestic, a bad brother. Bishop George Battle, I did not know him, but I have watched him from afar. You know, sometimes you can be mentored by someone from afar. And everything I've seen of him and heard about him, particularly from my colleagues in the Congress of North Carolina, he is another brother who has stood up over and over again for the right things. A strong advocate for education, for making sure that our children go into the future blessed and well educated. And Dr. Harold Carter, the brother who preached a few just want to leave you with one last thing. I want to thank all of you, our honorees, for changing the trajectory of so many people's destinies. You may never be thanked, but the boy you changed who was on his way to prison, but that one sermon where you planted a seed in his head, and when he got ready to go the wrong way, he reverted back to what you said. Come on now. Changing the trajectory of somebody's destiny. That mother who was about to give up, she didn't see no way. But because of your encouragement and the time you took with her and your example, changed the trajectory of her destiny. And so, and finally, I thank you for this. You know, so often people come upon the earth and they are dealt a deck of cards, but then they curse the cards that they're dealt. I want to thank our honorees for taking the cards that you were dealt and saying, I'm going to play the best hand that I can. I'm going to play the best hand. And in the process of playing the hand, your aspirations inspired somebody else. When they saw you do what you do and saw you do it well, they said, I want to be just like him, or I want to be just like her. And so, we got our own statutory hall. Our own statutory hall. I'm going to go and look at my statutes in my times when I'm kind of depressed and low. When I've got people trying to turn off my mic. Trying to turn off my mic. I'm reminded of the giants who we salute today. The ones who stood up and stood out. The ones who took their pain, turned it into their passion to do their purpose. I would think about them. And even when they're long gone, we'll be able to go and say, hey Bishop, have a conversation. Hi, Miss Jackson, have a conversation. May God bless. He's better than me and serves all of you very, very well. Please join me in welcoming the Chief Executive of the City of Baltimore, our wonderful dear Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, who has a long history here with Morgan, as did her mom and dad. We're always happy to welcome her back. Madam Mayor, please come forward. The microphone is yours.
I do have a long history here. I call myself a product of Morgan. My mother would get upset if I told this story, but I know none of y'all are going to tell her, so I'll tell it. If it wasn't been for a math class and a chalkboard and a wiggle, I might not have been here. And my parents met in math class here at Morgan. My mom wrote a lot of answers on the board, gave my dad a few, you know. A product of Morgan, and on this day that a great American is laid to rest, Maya Angelou, who wrote words that inspired generations around our world. We get to celebrate those who inspired us. I'm very proud to be here with our Governor, Martin O'Malley, with our congressman. He's probably the only one I know that can turn a card game into a sermon. I didn't know where he was going with the deck of cards, but he is the only one. But as he was speaking, he was talking about how the legends that we are here to celebrate today inspire all of us, and the legacy of that. And as he was talking, I was remembering all of the people who inspired me growing up. And I just am so grateful. I could have been born anywhere. But when I think about Baltimore and all of the legends that we have here and all of the inspirational people who have helped me form who I am, I'm just grateful to be from this great city and for the governor of this great state. I'll throw that out. So to the honorees, congratulations and good afternoon. One cannot discuss freedom, education, economics, politics without considering the most stable and the tireless institutions of the African American community and the church. I know for me, some days it is just my faith that gets me to the end of the day. So I am grateful and so humbled to be able to be here to celebrate people of great faith. I'm honored to share this moment with everyone who has joined here today as we celebrate these heroes of our faith community. Each one of these honorees has left a lasting impression on not only the faith community, but throughout Baltimore, the country, and our world. They've used their God-given callings to transform lives in so many ways. And everyone is here so blessed to be connected to these spiritual leaders. And today, Morgan State welcomes one of its sons home. And where is he? Bishop Bryan. I am told that you graduated from this institution June 7th, 1967. This is a wonderful graduation commemoration for you. It is my hope and my prayer that we will all follow your example and return to the places where we began to shine a light of hope and inspiration and greatness. And congratulations to Bishop George Battle. He's a true pioneer leading the AME Zion Church into the 21st century. And the depiction, we can clap for this. And the depiction of Dr. Carter Sr. will be revealed today. And his life lives in each of us as we continue to be determined. Again, we have to be determined when we think about the legends that live and lived among us. Our history here, the challenges we have faced as African Americans, and how much we have overcome. I know sometimes it probably gets frustrating when we feel like we're fighting the same fights over. But for all of those who fought before us, let this day be a reminder that we must remain determined, vigilant, and forever hopeful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And don't worry, nobody's going to tell your mom what we all know. But we're just glad that it happened when it happened, and glad that you're here. We want to move on with the occasion, and we will do so by bringing forward Dr. Joanne Martin. But I would be remiss just to bring her before this gathering without saying a couple of things. First of all, to many of you, she's a friend.
Well, that was an interesting speech. Did you enjoy it, Christian?
Oh, I loved it.
It was such a great event. I'm Amber Thomas.
And I'm Christian Minnerly.
And we're at Morgan State University for the unveiling of Mahalia Jackson's statue. Are you ready to see the unveiling, Christian?
Yes, I am.
I'm so excited. Let's take a look.
As we unveil Mahalia Jackson, could we have a countdown starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, as we unveil Reverend Dr. Harold A. Carter Sr., could we have another countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As we unveil Bishop George E. Battle, could we have a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we unveil Bishop John R. Bryant, could we have a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As we remember Mahalia Jackson, please join me in welcoming Womb Work Productions, Inc. for a special tribute to her. Thank you. Senior Bishop in the church, who will now also bring remarks in his own way.
Thank you, Dr. Powell, for that great introduction. Thank you, Dr. Joanne Martin, who with your late husband created the National Great Blacks in the Wax Museum. To Mr. John Wilson, Deputy Director, I am delighted and humbled and indeed gracious for this great honor for me and my church. I also want to thank all of the people that have worked to make this happen. I would be derelict if I did not mention Dr. Barbara Shaw, who called me every day, it seemed like for a year. I also want to thank that great choir from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Please join me in welcoming Bishop John R. Bryant, Senior.
Isn't the Lord wonderful?
so much to be thankful for, and for so many to be thankful for. I was standing over there saying, I'm rich. That's a good feeling. Did you see my grandchildren? I want to thank God for my family, next month, my partner for 45 years. And I want to thank God for our lives together. And I was thinking she really needed to have a little wax figure beside my wax figure.
Welcome back, Christian. I hope you're enjoying the show so far.
I do. It's amazing.
Do you like gospel singing?
I sure do.
Well, then you're in for a great treat. Let's look at this. Wow, they really rocked the house. Well, welcome back. We hoped you enjoyed the show. Did you enjoy it, Christian?
Oh, I loved it. I thought everything was incredible.
It was so great to see all the statues, and we hoped you learned a lot more about the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum, and we hope you can come on down and visit the museum. And stay tuned for another episode of Teensy.